Welcome to The Backstory. I'm Robert.
I'm Melanie.
And today we're joined by David A.R. White and his wife, Andrea. And you are behind PureFlix, God's Not Dead 2, all sorts of fun projects. And you'll hear more about this on the Hour of Power. But you guys are married, you work together. What are the dynamics like with that? Is that hard, fun, a little bit of both?
Well, I always say working together is like a piece of cake. When you're at home, it's the hard work is there, raising 3 children and dealing with, what everybody deals with at home. But when you're on set,
like I have to
fantasy.
take out the trash.
The lifestyle.
What's that about?
Do you know who I am? I have to take out the trash. That's great.
Yeah, it's a blessing. We love it. We have a lot of fun, and we get along better when we're working than when we're doing mommy and daddy
Is that a
life.
focus thing, or is that a...
Yeah, it's a focus thing, and I think we always know that we have each other's back, and it's very comforting, to have your best friend by your side and to really have the best for each other.
Well, and a long time ago, we kind of figured out that, if you're going to shoot a movie or you're going to shoot TV, enjoy it and have fun with it. And so we do. I mean, we're best friends, but also just that, you go in and when I get to act with her, I also know, we know each other really well. So you're able to say, hey, by the way, go this way or go this way, and she can do it with me as well. And there's a nice shorthand.
Oh, I'm sure.
That we get experience too.
How cool.
That's great. So you both came to faith a little bit differently. Can you tell me a little bit about that and how that's affected your work?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, in a Reader's Digest version, I did not grow up a believer, although I did grow up watching Bobby's grandfather. Like my grandparents were big fans.
Sure.
And so I would hear the music and all of that, but I didn't come to the Lord really until after I moved to LA at 20. And I lived some very hard years, and I had a very rebellious childhood. I kind of raised myself, and so I did all kinds of sin and then some, and experienced a very free lifestyle, and was in Los Angeles and very lost and very broken and was empty, although I was using all of the outer things to fill me up. And so I came to the Lord in LA and kind of went full swing conservative, and then he kind of grew up opposite, very conservative.
Yeah, completely opposite. I grew up in a Mennonite household.
Oh, wow.
And if you know anything about the Mennonites, the joke is that they make the Mormons look like a pack of Hell's Angels. So I grew up super conservative. I saw one movie in the theater the first 18 years of my life.
Okay.
And but my father was a Mennonite pastor, and despite growing up in such conservative background, I was taught the love of Jesus and the relationship of the Lord from my family, and they portrayed that so well all the way through. So I received the Lord when I was 4 years old.
And I'm sure you're kind of at a point now where you're trying to share that with your kids as well, and you have 3 kids that you mentioned before. What are they like?
Our kids?
Yeah.
We've thrown them in. When they're babies, we throw them in here and there. And what was Ethan?
Has
He
Emerson
was
been
5.
of all of our kids? I think because our youngest has not been in a movie, but our other 2
They don't really
have
care.
been. Yeah, they don't really.
Oh, really?
Our middle one loves to sing and dance. She's a girl.
But she doesn't have no interest to be in the movies.
They're not the typical, very extroverted kids that want to be in front of the camera. They prefer to just play Legos and go to Build-A-Bear.
There's nothing wrong with Legos.
Yeah.
That was my childhood.
Exactly.
Yes, I
still
know.
have
now
some.
It's bribery to get them into the movies. More.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well,
It's like if I have to do this movie, I'll do the movie, but what do I get out of it? I wish I
Lego
get paid.
Star Show.
Yes.
You're like 9.
Yes. Well, along with your kids, you obviously are influencing Christians of all ages. What advice would you give Christians who are maybe pursuing acting or producing or going into kind of this Hollywood world? And how would you encourage them or give them advice on keeping their faith and being in a very kind of open society that you grew up in? And so what advice would you give them?
You become who you surround yourself with. I'm a perfect example of that. And so I think if you get in a solid church, at the least you can do is get into a small group or a Bible study, but just to have accountability and to be able to be transparent, but to have praying Christians around you, I feel like that's key, because you need accountability, and there's so much temptation and things, the world does everything opposite as we're called to do as Christians, and so kind of have to surround ourselves with like-minded believers. I think that's really, really key.
And I would say become the best that you can become. The Lord gives us gifts and talents, so become excellent at that first and foremost. And then, as you guys, in any career, it's do it well, and then seek. When I moved, I went to Bible school right after high school in Chicago, Moody Bible Institute, and my entire family had graduated, and they met their significant others there. And then I left after a year. And I had to make the big call to my parents to say, "Hey, parents, I want to leave Bible school and I want to go to Hollywood to be an actor."
I'm sure that went over well.
I'm sure it went over exactly.
Yeah.
It went over excellent. But with that, my parents said, "As long as you serve the Lord, David, and whatever you do, we support you." And and I think that's the message to any believer who wants to go into the entertainment industry: is seek God first and foremost, and then be excellent at what you do, and watch to see what the Lord does.
That's awesome. Great advice. So, looking forward, if you could write your own ticket, pick your own part, what would be the biblical role that you would just love to play?
In the Bible, a biblical, like...
You can go first.
No, you go. I think you actually have a better idea.
It's not a hard question at all.
Hey, this is so silly. I would love to. Well, who wouldn't love to be Esther? Because she was adorned and beautiful.
Yes.
And it's. I think today's day, the role of a woman, you have to be everything and be the working mom and to be the career mom. I would love to be Esther, but also, I love action films. So it'd be like an Esther / like, can I go, shoot some guns and
Was
do an
Dorcas?
action?
Was
So
Dorcas?
modern day Esther.
Like a modern day
modern
Esther
day
who gets to like fight back and do one of those Resident Evil / fun roles. I know, I'm such a nerd. I know.
The irony is that I directed a movie called Esther, and Andrew was going to play Esther, and she was pregnant with our third, right, or second? Second. And so she wasn't able to do it.
Yeah.
Bummer.
So, but the Lord had another plan. So, but I actually always thought that I would be terrible in a biblical movie because I'm so just
improper.
Well, from Kansas and just everyday guy that
Doesn't
I
that
would
make
be
you
one
perfect?
of those. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would be those people that we mock all the time, going, "That guy's not, he's not Middle Eastern at all. He's as white as ever," and
I'll give you that.
and listen to the way that he speaks.
Yeah.
Just watch. Your next role is going to be
Joseph,
so
we
huge.
need to go now because, boy, it's getting late.
If you made it modern, who knows? But thank you both so much for your
thank you so
time.
much.
Make sure you check out God's Not Dead 2, and also check out when you guys are on the Hour of Power.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.